Hey folks, my name is Matt and I'm a tour guide with the New York State Office of General Services. In fact, you may have taken a tour with me in the past of the New York State Capitol, of the Empire State Plaza Art Collection, or even the Executive Mansion, all here in Albany, New York. Today, I want to introduce you to one of our newest series, Virtual Visit. While everyone is practicing social distancing, including us tour guides, it doesn't mean we have to stop talking about the amazing art, architecture, and history that we cover on our tours. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to take you on a virtual visit to one of the most beautiful parts of the New York State Capitol, the Million Dollar Staircase. Before we jump in, let's talk a little about the New York State Capitol. In 1899, Theodore Roosevelt became governor and deemed the construction of the Capitol complete. Construction began in 1867 and was expected to take 4 years and cost $4 million. In the end, it took 32 years and $25 million to complete. At that time, it was one of the most expensive buildings ever built in the country. The Capitol was designed by 5 architects and was built by hand from stone that came from around the United States and around the world. It was Isaac Perry, the final architect, who led the Capitol through its final years of construction. Perry was hired by then Governor Grover Cleveland, and his love for stone carving can be found throughout the Capitol. It is this work, set in stone, that has stood the test of time, and why even today, the New York State Capitol is considered one of the most magnificent state capitals ever built in the United States. Now let's take a look inside the Capitol, and specifically the Million Dollar Staircase. Also known as the Great Western Staircase, it took hundreds of stone carvers 14 years to complete. At 120 feet tall and 444 steps, the actual price tag was about $1.5 million. With such a huge cost attached to its construction, the public began calling it the Million Dollar Staircase. The staircase features a massive ornate glass skylight and laylight, designed to maximize natural light and airflow. Windows and natural light were important features during the Capitol's early construction, because electricity was still in its early stages when construction of the staircase began in the 1880s. The Million Dollar Staircase was designed by architect Henry Hobson Richardson. He was inspired by the staircase at the Paris Opera House. Look it up online and you'll see the resemblance. Now let's take a closer look at the staircase, starting with that beautiful red sandstone. Most of the stone was imported from Scotland. The sandstone steps, however, came from Medina in western New York. Medina sandstone is world famous and has been used on the Brooklyn Bridge and Buckingham Palace. Why sandstone, you ask? First and foremost, it's soft and ideal for carving. In fact, sandstone actually hardens over time, and that's why the stone on the Million Dollar Staircase has held up so well over the past 137 years. Did we mention carvings? The Million Dollar Staircase features 77 famous faces that are carved directly into the stone. At the top of the staircase, carved along the skylight, you'll find a row of New York's governors with their names carved above their head. You'll find our first governor, George Clinton, our second governor, and first U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice, John Jay. Governors who became president, like Martin Van Buren and Grover Cleveland, are also featured. The rest of the 77 famous faces are scattered throughout the staircase. You'll find presidents, Revolutionary War heroes, Civil War heroes, famous inventors, authors, poets, civil rights leaders, and more. But what about famous women? Near the end of construction, there were complaints that only famous men had been carved into the staircase. To remedy this situation, 6 famous women, including Susan B. Anthony and Harriet Beecher Stowe, were added just above the first floor. But what about the faces without names? One of the most fascinating parts of the staircase are the Capitol unknowns. These are hundreds of smaller, unidentified faces carved into the stone that can be found throughout all 4 floors of the staircase. Most believe the unknowns are the stone carver's family, friends, or even the carvers themselves. I like to call these the original selfie. Maybe you're not a people person. Well, the $1,000,000 Staircase has you covered. Along with faces, you'll find lions, tigers, bears, birds, and squirrels, leaves of different trees, and lots of flowers. Symbols are scattered throughout too. You can find our state seal, the Great Seal of the United States, our state motto, Excelsior, and our earliest national motto, E Pluribus Unum, all etched into the stone, as well as the names of every New York county that was established at the time the staircase was carved, and every signer of the Declaration of Independence. Well, there you have it, folks. An up-close look at one of New York's must-see historic attractions. My name is Matt, and I hope you'll join us for our next virtual visit.